What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And I'm joined by two men that don't think they're a lot dumber than you think that they thought that they were once. They, of course, are Joe Day and EP Eric Pahalik. How you doing, boys?
You got through it. First take.
Nice. Of course I did. I always get through it on the first take.
No, you don't.
No.
Yes, I do.
This one you did, though. I'm doing
Do you know that movie?
God. As soon as you say it, I'm going to say son of a... But
I do.
Off the top of my head.
EP?
Say it, EP.
Dodgeball.
Yes.
Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Oh. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, man.
Yeah, that one was too obvious. I wanted to go something a little more subtle.
I believe it was said by White, W-H-I-T-E.
Yeah.
Goodman.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Oh, so I'm glad to have both of you with me this week. I was a little worried for your safety, both of you. I know you were probably going to be partaking in some adult activities, shall we say? Joe, you had Beer Fest, is what I'm trying to say. No. Joe Day was at Beer Fest yesterday. I don't know
the way you said the way you said adult festivities. I'm like, that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So yes, I was at Beer Fest.
Come on.
You made it weirder than it had to be. I was at Beer Fest.
That is my job.
Yes, I was at Beer Fest yesterday. I got in at 10 a.m. I was a volunteer. I pour. Had a blast. Had a great time. I may have consumed several.
So charitable of you to volunteer
my time. I do. I donate my time.
Serve at the Beer Fest.
I do.
What is the other part of that? Then you get to drink for free. Is there something?
Yeah, like it is. That is the part. Yeah. I tried to get EP to come. I tried to get EP to come out for it, and he wussed out on me.
I had a family thing I had to take care of.
You could have made it back.
I could have, but it would have been awful.
Bring the family with you.
Yeah. To Pittsburgh for Beer Fest.
They like beer.
Actually, a lot of them do. Yeah.
Your family's Polish, right? So
yeah.
They like beer.
We do.
I have a question for our viewers, real quick before we move on. Have you ever heard of the phrase "the Irish goodbye" or "the Irish exit"? I want to know because Mike had never heard that before.
I hadn't heard it either.
And neither is EP. So it's a pretty common one. So I'm curious, maybe I'm the crazy one. I'm probably not. But put in the comments below if you've heard of that expression. I basically, at the restaurant at the end of the night, I was maybe asleep at the table for a minute or so after I ate dinner. And I was like, I got to go. I got an Uber and I just left. I didn't say goodbye to a single soul. I just got in the Uber and got the hell out of there. So... yes, that is
there you go.
Well, since I wasn't able to go to Beer Fest, I do have I got a little shot of Jägermeister here, Joe.
Wow. Ooh. I got a shot of Gatorade for you, EP.
And then I got my beer. So,
wow. That is how you start a Monday morning right there.
It is.
I encourage all the viewers watching, start your Monday off like that too.
Good morning, RetroManiacs.
Good morning, RetroManiacs.
2012.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, speaking of 2012, Extra Innings with EP debuted over the weekend. Now, I apologize. It was an hour late because I did set it up to drop at 7, but I was running my stack sale and I got to it so late on Friday night that it was actually Saturday morning when I uploaded it. So it scheduled it for Sunday morning and I didn't realize it until Saturday morning, but I woke up in time to get it out there by 8. But yes, you referenced 2012, go figure, in the first episode. If you want to watch a video about Sea Monkey cards, and who doesn't, really, you need to go back and watch that. Give that a watch. Hit the like button. Support that little guy down there. Look at him. He doesn't even have legs. Look at him. He's just all torso and head.
And you know what he said to us before we started recording? If that gets to 100 likes,
no.
He will shave his head.
Viewers, I will never agree to a bet where I shave my head. I will not do it.
Oh my god! Come on,
Depends on how much fireball he has from what
All right,
I've
that's
heard.
fair. That's a good point.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, my stack sale started. I'm doing my basketball mania stack sale. Going to be 9 days in total. We're going to be on day 4 by the time this drops, and I am already sick of it. Look over my shoulder there. Look at all those piles of cards, and I have a ton of them down here at my feet, and I have some more over here, and I'm just I don't know that I want to see a basketball card again, and I have to go, another week yet. So yeah, that'll be fun.
I think it's living up to the mania part of the name already for you. It's been pretty wild, right?
People love their 90s basketball, and it is a lot of fun, and I have a lot of cool stuff, but boy, a lot of work. It wouldn't be a sale if I wasn't complaining about it, though, right? That's what I do.
So we did not get the text that we usually get. We knew it must be going well because Mike did not text us. I'm not going to sell a damn card. I don't know. I should shut it down right now. This is going terrible.
I don't think I ever said I should shut it down right now, but yeah.
I might be embellishing for effect.
It was more of a good luck thing doing that, but yeah, I was way too busy to be able to send you that text. I don't have any time to do anything. 5 hours on Saturday night. 5 hours sitting there at my island in the kitchen on an uncomfortable chair, posting and writing down claims. Yeah, it's a grind. Maybe I should just set up at card shows instead. Maybe that would be less work than stack sales. And I don't know. There was a big card show over the weekend, Culture Collision, and it's in Atlanta, Georgia, where just ironically, there happens to be a brand new card shop that's opening up on the 1st of February. Don't know if anybody's heard, but it's called Cards HQ. Literally, just go to any video on YouTube right now. You're going to see something about it. So, we're going to throw our hat into the ring because that's what we like to do, right? Yeah. Old Cards HQ opens up. They had a preview weekend over this weekend with the show down there. Some of our favorite and maybe not as favorite YouTube creators were there and doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's an impressive building. Absolutely. I would shoot our videos from there if he wants to, who knows, maybe in 6 months time, he'll be renting out the space in there. We don't know. Maybe we can move the operation down there, but yeah, the big news was his pricing structure he's going to have for the store. On what do they call that show? Off-Centered, the one that Neo and Flipping Steve and Sports Card Dad Dustin do. They had Jeff Wilson on last week, and the gist of it is they're really not going to negotiate on prices of cards. They're going to set their cards based on market value, and they're not going to negotiate. If they have cards in inventory for 30 days, apparently they're going to send them to auction. Not sure, some may go to Whatnot, some may go to eBay. In a store that size, that's going to be a lot of cards every month going to, let's just be real up front. That's going to be a lot of cards. So I don't know how that's going to work.
That's
I don't know how many people, I don't think it's going to happen either. Cause look at Burbank, they have a lot of people that work for them that list this stuff. So unless he has a huge staff, you're not going to sell all those cards on Whatnot. You might be able to take the better ones and do that. But so one thing, there has been a plethora of videos put out about the new pricing structure, some of them very complimentary, saying how it's a great idea and yes, it's going to work. Other people less complimentary. But let's start with the moving inventory after 30 days thing, because that, I don't think that is physically possible to send all of it unless it's you're going to build up this mountain of, it's going to be like EP, all the stuff he needs to list on eBay, right?
And my question is, how do you know what's been there for 30 days? You're not going to buy all cards at the first of the month, right? It's not all this inventory is going to come in January 1st and February 1st is all going to be gone. Well, what if you bought something on January 15th? Are you going to keep track of all that, Jeff? I really have a hard time. I'm guessing
they're probably going to have some kind of sophisticated inventory system with that. Yeah. So that is possible, but I mean, again, a lot of money.
That seems like more work for what it would end up being. Like it seems like a lot of work for not much reward, because I can't imagine someone's just going to go walking through. When he talks inventory, he's talking about the stuff on the shelves, right? Is he talking about, he said he's going to have a lot of dollar boxes. He said that was dollar boxes are the lifeblood of the hobby type of thing. Like what all is he moving?
I think it's stuff on the shelves.
The cases
I
and
think
shelves.
he
Yeah, I
did
think so.
say that. Yeah. But
so
still, that's
but
going to be a
even
lot of cards every month.
he showed how many football fields sized building, you know, like he showed a lot of those cases, especially the ones that he saw over in, was it Japan, that hold a lot of cards. I don't know. I just cannot wrap my mind around the fact that he's going to literally just reshuffle this inventory on a monthly basis. I would need to see the logistics of that actually happening the first or second time before I believe it's going to be constantly happening.
Yeah, I don't want to stumble. I don't want to go into something any other topics we're going to talk about. So I'll just stick with the turnover part of it first. Like he in the video, he was talking about how. Well, first off, I want to say like Cards HQ sounds like their plans are, you know, they're amazing. Like you had
they're very ambitious.
Very ambitious. Yeah, like you're like having the Pokemon in the front of the store and then all these sports cards in the back. And they had the cases you were talking about, Joe. They actually had to buy them and get them modified, right? So they could have like shelves on both, or they could have showcases on both sides of it. Like it wasn't originally like that, like just crazy. And but to think that they are, and I've seen some videos of them buying inventory too, and so they're going to have so much inventory, and they're just like this like ungodly amount in the space that they have. There's, I mean, it is completely unrealistic to think that they are going to turn everything over, especially because they're going to have, I think, a lot to turn over.
Yeah, and like I don't know like how much like warehouse space they have in there. Like I'm sure they do, but I don't know how much. But like you look at Burbank and all the buying they do, and they have a gigantic warehouse full of cards, and like you need a lot of room. Cards take up a lot of room. So if you're doing a lot of buying, like that's another interesting part of it. But let's get into the pricing a little bit. Like I've seen, like I said, videos both for and against this. They're going to price the cards at market value, but they're not going to negotiate. So if you have $100 card in there, you go in and say, would you take 90? Their answer is going to be no. It's $100 or they don't. Now, Geoff's reasoning, which there's some truth in it, but I think is a little bit of an exaggeration too, is that, you know, all the shops price up so high because then you can negotiate down to the market value. I don't think it's really that way everywhere. Are there some dealers that do that? Yeah, but to act like that's the standard in the hobby, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. And like, you know, somebody brought up the example of like, well, you know, what if, you know, there's a kid there that wants to get a card and he doesn't have quite as much, but you're just going to say no. And like his comeback was, well, yeah, but like this is going to keep families that don't know what they're doing from going into a shop that has stuff way overpriced.
By the way, I want to specify something. He didn't say families. He specifically said mothers, which I was like, that really put me off. He specifically said mothers who don't know what they're doing.
But yeah,
I did. I did love it.
Yeah, that's not
weird
great.
Choice.
Yeah, but yeah, so like that again, a little bit of a oversimplification of it and a little bit of an exaggeration of it. My thoughts, but what are your thoughts of the no negotiation price policy?
You know, it kind of reminds me of like those stores that say, well, we don't have coupons because we charge everything at the lowest price already. So we don't even send coupons out. Like, so if he actually was doing it for like the right reasons, like I want to make sure people are getting the best price they possibly can. And there's no need to negotiate because we're such great people and we're going to make sure they get the absolute market price. The market changes. We talk about this all the time. How quickly does the market change? Joel Embiid had what, a 70-point game? I bet you his cards the next day shot through the roof, right? Like there are players who are going to, especially like basketball specifically, because they play so many games. Baseball, I guess, would be the same thing. If someone goes out and has a grand slam, wins a game, his cards are going to like. So, what are we calling the market? Clearly, market movers to him is the market, which is it's fun that I'm sure he'll be using that for absolutely every price that he has, right? So He's saying, well, my app's the best. I'm going to use this for the prices. And I bet you any money that if a player's value goes down in those 30 days before he supposedly flips the cards around or flip them to auctions, I guarantee you if a player's value goes down, he is not changing that value. If a player like Joel Embiid, for example, his values go up, I guarantee you those values will be changed in those 30 days. So I don't know. It just seems like a really, really weird way to do it. It seems like, what are you going to do if someone buys two $100 cards and says, hey, I'll give you 180 for them? Are you going to say no? Are you not going to do package deals? Like, that's pretty prevalent in the hobby.
They aren't. Yeah, they are doing it at the price.
I've seen him do that at card shows.
All the time.
All the time. And that's what's
time.
so infuriating to me. Like, he goes out and he buys these cards, be like, okay, so Market Mover says this card is worth this amount and this card is worth this amount. I'm going to buy both of them. And I want, basically, he wants like 20% off of those comps. Like, that bothers me that if he's going to do it, but he's not going to do it for his customers. I don't know. There's a lot. I'll pass it to EP because I'm sure I'll think of something else that annoys me with this. But EP, you take it over.
There's so much to talk about here. As you were talking, Joe, I went in and checked my eBay, pulled up my eBay listing. I've been selling on eBay since 1999. I've sold at a couple card shows last year. I'm going to sell at 2 upcoming shows this year, and I feel like I'm not an expert. I'm going to definitely want to throw this to Mike here in a minute and just get his take because he's been a dealer. He has had his own shop. I feel my personal opinion is like they might not even sell 10% of that inventory if they're not going to negotiate on prices. When I'm at the card show, half of the fun of the card show is the interaction and I don't want to say haggling because you're not usually, a lot of times you're not haggling, but accepting a little bit of a better offer because somebody wants to buy 5 cards or something like that. And I feel like that is a huge part of the hobby. So that's why this pricing structure feels a little tone deaf to me. Like it's because the interaction with the customers and that's part of the fun of this hobby, part of the fun of our market. And so, Mike, I'm going to throw it to you as a former card shop owner. Like, do you think you could sell all of your inventory at market price in a month?
No, even at half price, you wouldn't sell all of your inventory in a month. Now, okay, I have a lot to say here because I did do this for a long time and I still do it now. So, first of all, there are videos out there like we love Dustin's channel and stuff, but like I don't know that they really understand what it's like to sell cards because he doesn't really do that. That's not really his wheelhouse. So, Neo was the same way. Like they both had videos this week after having him on the show saying how they thought that this model would work. I don't know what they're basing that on because they don't really have the experience of running something like this. So like no offense to them, but like I don't know that their opinion comes from a place that's truly informed about it. First of all, they use the CarMax example. I've heard that a number of times. Where did CarMax change the way that we buy and sell cars in the United States? It hasn't. Like that's one business that does it that way. But it's not like the other way still isn't the prevalent way that it's done. Like you go to the dealership and you haggle a little bit. That's the way it's always been. That's probably the way it's always going to be. Like CarMax is not something that makes me think, oh, his pricing structure is going to change the industry. Like they didn't just throw that example out the window. And like, they're like, why would you want to take your leftover inventory and throw it on an auction where you don't know what price you're going to get for it instead of taking a little less for it? Like that's the part as a business person makes no sense to me. I've done nothing my whole life but like run businesses. I've run retail businesses for quite a bit. I have some experience in this. Like I would much rather give somebody a little bit of a deal on something than to throw it on an auction and get what I get for it. So like, I don't know if it's just like hubris because we're a sports card investor and I can go on Whatnot and I'm going to probably get more for it on there. Maybe you will for a while, but you won't consistently on everything you're trying to get rid of. So I don't understand that part of it. And like you said, Joe, the multiple, like if I'm buying 5 cards from you and you can't give me $10 off, like really? Like that's not a good business model because you're going to make people angry. Because if I'm spending more money there and I would like a little better deal, if I go to a car dealership and I buy 3 cars, I'm going to get them for a better price than if I buy one. Pretty much, you know, yeah, maybe Walmart isn't going to give me my 3 jugs of like laundry detergent for cheaper, but that's not that our kind of business. Like this is a collectibles business. So I just, that part blows my mind. And like the whole Cars Max thing, going back to that, the car prices don't change daily.
That was the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
the car's value is the car's value now or a month from now. It's the same unless you put mileage on it or you wreck it. Like literally
exactly.
that is such a terrible example that I don't know who in the world was using it. I haven't watched many videos about it this week, to be completely honest, but whoever made that example, I really, it's not
I've heard
example.
I think Geoff even, I don't know if he said it himself, but like it has been brought up numerous times. And again, show me how many cars are sold by CarMax and how many are sold by traditional dealerships, and then get back to me and we'll have a little talk about the CarMax model. Like just come on, stop. Yeah. I don't even know where to go to a CarMax. There's not one anywhere near
There's
me.
not one close. Right.
So,
yeah, you made the point. I just want to throw like one little thing in there. Like we have seen like all the time. We talk about the three cards that we do on Fridays. Like if you can buy a card, buy it now. That's a relatively decent card, a $20 card or whatever. But if you can probably find it on auction for like $6.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have a chance to sell these cards at like half of what the market value is, as opposed to, like you said, Mike, you take $5, $10 off. Like it just seems really tone deaf.
The three of us comp cards on a very regular basis. Mike probably the most because you buy and you sell on your stack sales. I know I do. Like I look at Tom Brady cards. I look at the market for the Tom Brady rookies quite a bit. And whenever you go to Terapeak and look, you ever notice that the fixed price is always better than the auction price? Like it's not even close. It's like the auction price again, unless it's something. I used the Drew Jones example recently. Like if something new, something that not a lot of people have access to yet, throw it up on auction. Go for the big score.
Or super rare, like a 101.
Or something super rare, right? That you don't know how to price and you don't want to underprice it and whatever. But for the most part, auctions, you're not going to get that return that you are on the buy it now thing. And the card store, the buy it now or best offer. So if it's $100 card, someone comes in and says 90, you're going to say no, but you're going to throw it up on auction and probably get 50 for it.
Yep.
You know, like I can't wrap my head around some of these things. Maybe we're the dumb ones, guys. Maybe we are. Maybe we're telling them here,
likely,
but
like it's probably very.
I mean,
we are, yeah.
We're a bunch of stooges. Yeah,
a good argument could be made that we're the dumb ones. Yeah,
it's possible. And hey, Jeff Wilson has a ton of subscribers. He must know a lot more about everything than we do. But still,
well, he's a visionary.
He is a visionary. Is that what they call him? That's
cool. I've heard that thrown out there in circles.
Pass.
Anyway, yeah, so it'll be interesting. I mean, clearly he can change that policy if he's finding it doesn't work. And
what's the over under? Is it 6 months before he changes that policy?
No, 1 month. When you,
I'd say under on that, but
I really think like 10% of their inventory is like I really have a feeling that that's what it's going to be because of how if you're not going to give at all. Like how many people are going to come in and pay full market value? A lot of people are looking to take that card and sell it on eBay.
They're looking for deals. They're looking for deals. That's
we talked like about this. Deals.
Yes, we talked about this. There was an eBay seller, or I'm sorry, a Twitter seller who we all kind of made fun of when we got back into the hobby. Even we agree with him on this because this is it's like 2 times now that we've agreed with this particular account. It kind of makes us gross every time we do.
Yeah.
But I remember when we got back in the hobby, Mike, you and him had an interaction about a deal. Like someone just likes having a deal. right? So you're telling me how many trolls, by the way, are going to go into Cards HQ, see a $100 card and say, I'll give you 99 for it. Tell me no. Like, if I lived in Atlanta, I totally would.
Yeah,
I'm
Joe would
like,
be
these
there every
three-
day.
Joe be flying down to do it. Yeah,
These
maybe
three
we
cards
should
that equal
expense
$300.
that.
Yeah,
That
all
might
right.
be worth it for content. See
I'll
how
give
many
you
times
two-
you can do that before they kick you out. That'd be
Right.
great.
I'll give you $297 for these three $100 cards. Nope, you're not getting it. It's
Is
just-
it any
it's-
wonder that we don't get a tour of the facility before?
Yeah,
We're not the cool guys around here. But
We're
yeah,
not.
I mean, and that is a good point though. And I've always said that people like to feel like they're getting a deal. So like this pricing structure is like generic and sterile and like doesn't really do anything, in my opinion, to build that interaction between you and your customer. Like these two guys, I don't even know how to point to them at this point in the show. They came in my shop, and here I am 30 some years later, still sitting here talking with them. I have great relationships with people that came in my shop. And like, I just feel like this is our price. No, like, I feel like that loses something because people love, if you're giving them $100 card for 95, that like, this is the thing I don't think a lot of people understand, but like that $5 makes that person feel like they got something that maybe somebody else didn't, and makes them feel special.
Yep.
Like it's well worth it because you're building a customer base that's like, I love going in there. They give me good deals. You can't say selling at market value is giving people the best deals. You're not. If you're selling at market value, I can go on eBay, I guarantee, and find 99% of the stuff they're going to be selling for cheaper and be able to buy it cheaper that way than buying it from them. So you're not giving people the best deals. You're just pretty much doing what's probably the easiest for you to be able to do. You don't have to train staff a certain way to be able to make decisions. You don't have to have somebody available
You can hire
there.
Walmart clerks. You can hire Walmart clerks.
Yeah,
at that
you can
point.
do
You're not
anybody.
hiring
So
smart
like
people.
I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this will totally revolutionize the card hobby. I don't think he's had such a great track record of doing that so far, but for some reason, people seem to think he has. I think our hobby is pretty much the same as it's always been, but best of luck to him, right?
The
Go
word
ahead.
sterile is perfect. I just want to throw that out there.
Yep,
The word
yeah,
sterile
yep,
is perfect
yep.
because, again, going into Walmart, those laundry detergents that cost $30 for a jug, you're not going up to the cashier and building a relationship with that cashier. Like
Yeah.
you're turning something that's a hobby into straight up like retail.
Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
and that's how it feels. And that takes a lot out of it for me. That takes a lot out of the hobby for me, for sure.
A great point. Go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate a little bit on your point, Mike, about how people like to get a deal. Like even those of us who understand that people really just want to get a deal, even if it's a $5 and $100 card, like even understanding that, like we like that too. You know what I mean? Like we want to get that deal too, even though we understand the psychology of that that people just like to get a deal. But it's just a natural human thing that to want to get that deal. And
one other thing I wanted to bring up about this is, I have to give credit, Dan, the card man. I was watching one of his videos, and I know this has been brought up in many other places. He was just reporting it, but it did make me think a little bit about it because I've been kind of thinking it too, that like Geoff is like incredibly confident about this store, and like good for him and stuff. I'm glad he is, but like it's a huge undertaking. But some people are wondering, is there a backer here that maybe we don't know about? Like this all tinfoil hat stuff. But heck, let's talk about it. Like, is Fanatics or whatnot like
when you said it,
involved
that's the first thing that I
in
thought.
this somehow? And is this maybe like a test store for a franchise, like backed by a bigger company?
When you started to put the tinfoil hat on, if there could be a backer, the first thought was Fanatics for me.
Yeah,
like,
everybody goes to Fanatics.
Yeah,
but I've heard whatnot too. So
yeah, I mean that could make sense if we see him turning over inventory like he supposedly is going to do every month, and all of that finds its way on whatnot auctions instead of eBay. then yeah, I mean, I think we have our answer, right? But I could totally see Fanatics because of, Ruben's talked about the store. Jeff Wilson's in a top set. Like, there's a lot of like little, we look like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with Charlie Day with the string
Right.
trying to figure out, But like, it kind of feels like you can connect some of those dots a little bit. It wouldn't be stupid of them. I mean, the breaking part of it by itself, I mean, that's a valuable commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking is such a huge business that I mean, that by itself could be enough reason for one of those companies to get involved.
Yeah, well, I think when Topps/Fanatics put out their thing, the only kinds of card shops that they were going to have for their card shops, that they're I forget what exactly it was, but part of their breaking, all that sort of stuff. That kind of like this shop sounds like a perfect example of that shop, right? Like it kind of like checks all those boxes.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree 100%. There are a lot of dots that are to be connected on this thing for sure.
Well, one thing I do know is Fanatics likes to spend a lot of money. And in line with that, did you guys hear about their new program called The 10? If you break on Fanatics Live, well, if you buy breaks on Fanatics Live, they're going to have every month 10 cards that are special new hot cards, stuff that hasn't been pulled out of product, even some of it going back to quite a few years that still hasn't been pulled out. And if you are a buyer that hits one of those cards in a break on Fanatics Live, you get $10,000 in breaking credit from Fanatics and get to keep the card. So like the Tom Brady inscribed autograph that has the bounty on it and stuff, if you pulled that's one of the 10 for this month. If you won that in a break, you get $10,000 and the card. I know EP has a lot of thoughts on this, so I want to hear his thoughts first.
Actually, I think Joe has more thoughts, and Joe is. I think Joe was the one who was very much that. But before, so I'm going to throw it to Joe for sure. But I was really hoping to get in one line before that. And Mike, you said that Fanatics likes to spend money. They really like to make money, baby. They really like to make money, and they are spending money to make even more money. And that's, I think, what Joe's going to talk about. That's what Joe's going to talk about. So, Joe, go ahead. I think you said a couple times that you have a lot of thoughts. So, please.
Well, so I completely agree with that. They're spending money to make money. My thoughts were, this is a casino.
Yes.
This is flat out.
My immediate thoughts. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell this story for our viewers. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but there was a promotion running at the local casino out here in Pittsburgh a few years back, pre-COVID. And the promotion was, if you get the high hand in the poker room that night, you get to pick a number from the board. And it was like 200 numbers on this board. So, and the prizes range from $100 in cash to $10,000. So there's 40, 50 tables in this poker room. So if you're there in the middle of the day, your chances of you getting it. I happen to be there super late at night, like 2 a.m. playing to hold 'em.
What? No, you?
I know, shocking. I know.
Can't imagine that.
But there were only 2 tables running, and I got the high hand for that hour. And it was like such a shitty high hand to get. It was aces full of kings, for those of you who are curious. But I got to pick a number. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the number was. I will tell you, it was a very immature number.
I think we know what number it is.
I think we all
everybody
know
knows
what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
If you're watching this, you know what it is. Yeah.
I got to be honest. I am so floored that poker players are not mature people in general anyway, because we're men and we're stupid. I'm shocked the number was still available. So I said the number to the pit boss, and the pit boss looks at me and goes, "Are you serious?" I go, "Yeah." I'm shocked it's still there. He pulled the number. I won $10,000. It was awesome.
Wow.
It was awesome. So I tipped my dealer $1,000. It was a good day because I won the hand too. It was a pretty big hand too. The reason I'm telling that story is it's instantly what it reminded me of. It's like, we want you to play more hands. We want you in this casino playing as many hands as possible, because look, you could win $10,000. That's what this feels like. They are card collectors, and whatever we call this generation of people who are in the hobby, who are just looking for that big hit, whatever we're calling them. I don't know if we're calling them collectors or not, but those people have addictive personalities for sure, and they are going after that big hit for sure. So to put a $10,000 bonus potentially on a card, you don't think that's going to increase the amount of breaker spots sold in those products? It's going to be crazy. And Fanatics is going to look, what products do we need to move a little bit better this month? Or what product do we think we can get the most out of? Because we're definitely going to pick one of those 10 cards from that product. So to me, we've been saying it for months. It's a casino. It's not even a card company anymore. It is flat out. They have the thing where you get when you go to the casino and you get points, how many hands you play. They basically have that with breaks now too. So like everything they're showing us is this is a casino. This is not really a card company. Those were my thoughts.
Yeah, I lived up to my expectations. Thanks a lot, Joe. I'm just going to talk about a couple of those things. First one is $10,000 to Fanatics and to these casinos is a drop in the bucket, right? Like it's just chump change. Like they can throw that money out there, and it looks like it's a huge deal to any of us. Like if any of us would win that, like Joe, you said you were ecstatic when you won 10,000.
I ran around the casino room. I ran around the poker room. I did a lap.
Right. So they're, again, like you said, they're kind of preying on these tendencies of collectors to want to win that thing, and they're going to make so much more money on it, and that's why they're going to turn this list over every month. I'm guessing the first list of the 10 has got some really amazing cards on there, some cards that, you know, I'd be excited when it gets pulled. I'll never pull any of them, like the Steph Curry, the Superfractor, I think, a couple Logo Mans and stuff. Like there's some awesome stuff on there, but they're going to change that every month. And like you said, there's obviously they're going to put some iconic type cards in there all the time, but there's plenty of room in there for them to put 1, 2, 3, or 4 cards from whatever their latest product is. Like it's top Series 1, I think, has cut autos for the first time of like some greats like Satchel Paige and some really great players. And so they're cut 1-of-1 autos. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if next month when Top Series 1 comes out, all of a sudden, oh, guess what? If you pull the Satchel Paige 1-of-1, you can be one of these people. And I totally see that happening.
It's going to cost you $10,000 worth of breaks to even have a sniff at it. But hey, why not? Why not go after it?
House always wins, right?
How much longer do you think it'll be before you see first-time breakers get a $100 breaking credit with $20 spent? Like that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like literally that is going to happen. Like I'm sure
Games,
like,
model,
this is gambling. Like they're not hiding it. Like I remember when we first talked about it, we thought, well, maybe they would do things a certain way to make sure. But I feel like maybe since they're getting casino licenses to do sports betting anyway, they're like, what the hell? This is betting. Yeah, we'll just embrace it as gambling. And again, you're going to 10x the hobby. That's how you're going to 10x it. You're going to bring the gamblers in. It's not going to be 10 times as many people going and buying packs and kids running around and trading cards. It's going to be the gamblers. We all know that.
It's even more genius that it's not $10,000. It's $10,000 in break credit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, come on. They're giving you the disease and selling you the cure. I mean, it's like amazing for them. There's no loser in that situation.
It's absolutely like a version of the sports books that are trying to get new people to come in online, and DraftKings and FanDuel do. And I do expect you'll see very similar stuff for new breakers when they do that in the near future. What if though, like one of the funny things is some of this older stuff, there's no guarantee that card wasn't pulled. Like the Steph Curry Superfractor.
Yep.
Maybe somebody pulled that card and has it, and like they don't have social media. Maybe they don't go out and tell people what they have. Like maybe somebody just has that card and has had it forever.
Yeah, maybe an actual Steph Curry collector pulled the card and put it in a box.
No, people don't collect, do they? People don't collect cards. I thought they just sold them to,
I don't know. I mean, there is potential that a card they have on that list may have been pulled and people don't know it. I know it seems bizarre to think that, people wouldn't know. Well, yeah, maybe there could be collectors that pull a card and be like, oh, this is so awesome. And they put it in their case and they put it away, and they're not going around telling everybody they have that card.
Because we're in this bubble where we think everyone knows everything about everything going on in the hobby because we consume so much of it. There are people out there who collect cards who have no idea that sports card investor is a thing, or Southwest Idaho is a thing, or the sports card dad is a thing. People don't know that. They know their stuff. They know what they like. They know what they want to buy, and they just put things away. Who knows?
Yeah, the amount of cards that we see on social media and stuff is such a small amount. Even I think breaking's probably brought it more to like 50-50, but like we talked about how they showed the odds for Top Series 1 and it's like 450,000 packs or whatever. And so just or 450 million packs. It's something ridiculous, whatever it was. And so like you think about the amount of stuff that gets broken in somebody's living room or somebody's like in somebody's kitchen. Like it's probably I wouldn't be surprised if it was 50-50 on some of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like maybe the higher end stuff is a lot of breakers are getting that, but like Series 1, that sort of stuff, it's probably 50-50 where these people, this stuff might never show up on social media because they just open stuff because they enjoy it. And like you said, they just kind of put it in a box that this is really cool. I'm going to keep this one.
Yep.
Well, one thing that definitely will not be showing up on social media is the Donruss next day autograph of Victor Wembanyama. Because you see, he doesn't sign for Panini, so they can't get his autograph. So the logical thing to do is to put him in an autograph set and just slap a big no autograph on the card. Right? Handled.
Done.
Bravo.
Check. Moving on.
You did it. Awesome. Okay, moving on. No, I mean, yes. Okay, this has been done before. Yes, many times. I feel like the difference this time is, though, there's absolutely no chance you can have that guy's autograph. So why bother even putting him in the autograph set? Like, I know it's happened before, but I feel like the other times they were either redemptions or they didn't get the cards back from the guy yet or something happened. But not that there was, well, this guy will never sign for us, but let's put an autograph card of him in our set without an autograph card. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't know. Like, this is crazy.
Which Victor Wembanyama card is going to destroy the hobby first? This one,
obviously the Prism,
or the Prism non-photoshopped one. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we even have a show right now. I'm surprised that people just didn't say, shut it all down. The hobby is over.
Cards are done.
2 straight Wembanyama cards that people are losing their minds about. We need to stop talking about sports cards. I'll tell you what, in like 10 years, would you be shocked if this isn't one of the most collected Wembanyama cards? Because it's so stupid.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. It's such a terrible way to do it. I'm with you, Mike. I agree with everything you said about how Panini handled it and how dumb it is. But I will say in 10 years, I wouldn't be shocked if people are like, I need that Wembanyama card that says no autograph on it. Because that's an iconic moment where he didn't sign for the major producing company of licensed basketball cards.
Yeah.
They're just being clever. They're trying to be jerks, right? They're trying to say, we can't get Wemby. So I feel like they're
trolling the hobby a little bit.
They're trolling the hobby. I didn't look at the details. This card, are the pack odds the same as pulling an autograph? Making it just an SP without the autograph? Like the rest of the set is all autographs, but this one is a SP without an autograph. Is that true? Is that accurate?
I think it's same. I think they're case hits, if I'm remembering. Like that, the autograph set is a case hit. Yeah.
And he's in that set, so it would take you a few cases to get one of those, right?
It'll be interesting to see the resale compared to the cards with autographs. I mean, obviously he's like the number one guy in the class or whatever, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I feel like it would definitely loses value not having the auto on there. But I do agree, Joe, in a few years when the prices come down, and I'm guessing probably be more reasonable, will be sought after by a number of collectors in the hobby for sure.
I mean, do they do a CJ Stroud version of this or a Bryce Young? I mean, at what point? And maybe they'll put on the thing, no autograph because Topps, or because of Fanatics. That'd be even funnier.
Because of Michael Rubin.
Right. This is Michael Rubin's fault.
I think that it's brilliant. Like, look at Prism with the curtain behind him. Now this card, Panini has gotten so much publicity about the products they put out by doing this. Then, like, if they just put a regular card of them in, nobody's talking about Donruss basketball. Like, this is brilliant. I feel like they're doing this on purpose. They're like, yeah, maybe a little bit of it's what the fuck. Yeah, let's have a little fun. But like, I feel like it is fun, and I feel like they're getting way more out of this from marketing purposes and people going, well, you know what? That's really dumb, but I kind of want it.
Yeah.
And they have the autograph, it like says no autograph so big on it too. There's like no room to like get his autograph on it. Like, I just feel like somebody's like, nope, bigger. Nope, got to make that bigger. No, make it like half the size of the card. Make it as ridiculous as possible. Like, that's the one. Like, people will go nuts, and people are going to buy this because they're going to somehow weirdly want it. And I want one.
Font. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like somebody. I hope somebody from Panini sees this, and they comment and they comments like, "Hold my beer. Wait till National Treasures and Flawless." Yeah. See what we do for those.
I'm excited though, aren't you? I really do want to see.
Yep.
Okay, let's put it. Okay, they're sitting there in a strategy meeting. Like, okay, I've got it. Why don't we put the Wembanyama card, like, just have like a curtain hanging behind him in Prism? Like, yes. And another guy's like, you know what? Why don't we do Donruss? We'll put an autograph card of him in, but we'll plaster this huge no autograph on the card, and everyone's like, yes. And then the next guy's like, well, how about for Flawless? And then the NT guy's like, well, I've got one for you. Like, I want to see where they go. Keep this going. Like, make each one more ridiculous than the last, and get people to talk about it, get people to weirdly want it.
Yes, I'll tell you what, a true Wemby fan, you know what they would do? They would get this card and have him autograph it.
That's why I feel like they put the gigantic no autograph though, because there's like no room to really get it.
Like it's silver ink
right over top of it.
Right over top of it, literally with silver ink or whatever the opposite color would be that really pop. I think that'd be phenomenal. I'd be all over it.
I mean, I'm not joking. I started this with why put it in the set, but like, I think it's brilliant. I absolutely think it's brilliant. And I am excited for Panini products to come out for the first time in a long time. Not going to be buying it at the prices they're going to be selling for. Is it any more ridiculous than the Tom Brady baseball card? No. It's
fair.
So they got to beat that. They got to make it more ridiculous. They need to do like Victor Wembanyama on Tom Brady's body for like NT, right?
I made the joke about Tim Duncan last week, but now I think that's even better. Use Tom Brady's body with Wembanyama's head. Fantastic. I didn't know that.
They can get the license to a photo. How hard would that be? I think that'd be
Brady,
fantastic.
They had Brady in set, so I wouldn't be surprised if they could just kind of shimmy one over there. Yeah, do it.
We work for Panini. We forgot to tell you.
Or who's the guy that they put Tom Brady's head on?
Darren Fletcher.
They should sign him to an NIL.
Yes, we're gonna see that. Yeah,
they really should. I'm upset that they haven't done that yet.
That would be the ultimate troll right there, and have Wembanyama.
And he would be in their baseball sets. He would be on their baseball sets.
That'd be so great. Wow. Yeah, you know, they better give us a cut if they decide to do that.
If that happens.
Oh man. So we talked a little bit last week about the Caitlin Clark Bowman U Superfractor. Sold for $78,000. Wow. That's a big sale, right, EP? Did you get it?
I did not get it. It was not me.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. I thought you might have, but I wasn't sure.
No. That's a huge deal in my opinion. She is, kind of changing the game. She's electric to watch, and a lot of people think that she's going to bring another level of excitement to the WNBA, and I'm all for that. Anytime the sports can get better, I'm all for it. She is one of those kinds of players, and I don't, obviously none of us know her personally, but she seems like the kind of person that people can get around as far as collecting, like a very collectible type of person. So look forward to seeing what happens with her in the WNBA. And you hope that this is the first of many increases in sales for her stuff, like bigger and bigger sales. Even though I'm not a huge fan of that high end stuff, it's cool to see when it happens.
But it was pulled out of like something like a National Treasures, or so you could
Right.
the entry point to get that card was probably not as high as some of the
It was like
more expensive.
$150 a box.
Yeah, so that makes it even better for me. Like it came out of a box that was less than $200, and here you go with this, almost $80,000 sale. I'm glad because it's ultra modern. I'm glad. Correct me if I'm wrong, EP. It did not surpass Serena Williams.
No,
one.
I think that was like 200,000 or something like that.
I'm happy. Yeah, I thought so
Yeah.
too. I'm happy that card is still number one. But it's cool to see these higher end cards of female athletes. When the World Cup comes around, I really hope they really lean into that a bit more too with the women's soccer team. But yeah, there's definitely some intrigue into her, especially when she goes pro. Who has a WNBA license?
Panini.
Does Panini? Yeah. Okay. Are they keeping
That's
it? Or
the thing. Like, I'm wondering, like, will that should bring some kind of a boost to the WNBA cards when she gets drafted, and she'll actually have rookie cards, and hope. I mean, Fanatics might sign her to an exclusive autograph deal. Maybe they did already. I
assume she already was. I assume she already.
I mean,
was.
it's very possible, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be a real boom for WNBA cards, and people will buy cards if there's value there. We know that. Yeah. So Formula One cards were a thing for a little bit. Remember that? So, oh boy. I'm a wrestling card fan, and I was really kind of disgusted to see the news that came out this week about Vince McMahon, and glad that he stepped down from the company as quickly as he did and stuff. But I've seen a lot of people debating online what's going to happen with the price of Vince McMahon cards, especially his autograph cards. Some of his autographs are some of the highest priced cards in wrestling cards, and he didn't sign a whole lot. He's in Transcendent, like there was a 1 of 1 in that. There are other low number ones, high end product. I personally wouldn't want to be holding those cards right now. I mean, I kept to my resolution. I didn't even get involved with any of the debates
that was
on
my
Twitter
first question
because I was worried that they could devolve into something I didn't want them to be. Because here's a shocker: if you have a countering opinion to certain people about anything on Twitter, I'm not just saying wrestling cards. There's always the potential it could turn into a shit show. So yeah, but I wouldn't want to. I feel more comfortable talking to you guys about this. I think his cards are going to take a huge hit. Like I just do. Maybe like the super rare, like 1 of 1s, because there are still going to be a lot of people out there that don't care about the stuff. Sadly, some people just don't. So like if you have a lower number card like that, you only need one other person for it to retain value. But like other stuff, like I saw like comparisons to Chris Benoit, but there's no comparison. Apples and grapefruit. So it's just not even something. But I all I know is I would not want to have his cards, and I feel a little better having a Stephanie McMahon card. So I think her prices should go way up.
Yeah, right? Get a little bit more into her. I'm with you on the Vince stuff. It's just there are people that collect O.J. Simpson cards, right? Like there are people that collect like cards of terrible individuals. I think they're still going to, but again, are those people willing to pay what a 1 of 1 Transcendent autograph would be quote unquote valued at this point? Like, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't feel comfortable holding his cards. What do you do in that situation if you did? Would you like sell them right away? Like how would you handle that? I think that's the big question for me. How are you handling if you did have Vince McMahon stuff? Do you just put it up on eBay and see what it goes for? Send it to gold and see what it goes? I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
I feel like I would probably sell the stuff right away. We still feel a little bit gross even just selling them, but that's probably what I would do. To both of your points, like rare cards are going to continue to be rare, so they're going to have some value probably. And like Joe said, people still collect these Collins cards. They still collect these cards of these people that have done bad things. A lot of people, for some people, that's an entire PC. and Vince McMahon will now fit into that mold for sure. So we're I could totally see his stuff still being bought and sold, but those $10 cards are going to be $1 cards now. I feel like, and that's kind of where we'll end up going.
I feel like the difference too, like Chris Benoit, like he had people say, yeah, his WCW autograph is worth a fortune. Well, yeah, first of all, he's dead now and hasn't been signing for a long time. So obviously his autograph is, but it wasn't worth that much at the time. Wrestling cards were kind of worthless in comparison to today back then. So yeah, that's why it appreciated in value, because of the rareness. Like there are nobodies in that set that nobody would ever pay money for their autograph, that they pay a lot of money to get their autographs on that because of the rarity of the set. So like Vince McMahon's price is already up here. So he has a long way to go down. Like where would OJ Simpson cards be now if he hadn't done what he did? Like, I feel like they would be way more valuable. Yeah, they still have some value. People still collect them, but they're definitely not as valuable as they would have been. So like if he would have, back in the early 90s when that happened, if his cards would have already been at like pandemic level prices, they would be way down. So like that's what I think here, that I don't see any other option other than them going down. Like, as you know, the older generation dies off too. Like I've talked about this with Hulk Hogan, like those people that firmly support people regardless of what they do tend to be older people that grew up liking them. They just don't want to see any wrong with them.
They will overlook it.
Yeah. But then when they're gone, like those people are replaced with people that care a lot about it and think it was a really big deal if somebody was a scumbag. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be holding on, but I don't have any, so I don't need to worry about it. Right.
Yeah. Like to that point real quick, Mike. Yeah. Like someone who's a 15-year-old wrestling fan right now who didn't grow up with Mr. McMahon character, you know, like who, by the way, talk about character, you know, life imitating art kind of thing with that guy. But
art was imitating life in that example.
Yeah. But you know, like people who are like 15-year-old kids who watch the show now, do you think in 20 years they're going to be like, oh, I need to really get that Vince McMahon transcendent card? I don't think so. They're going to be looking at Roman Reigns, like the people they're growing up with now, as that. So same thing to your point too about Hulk Hogan. I think those 15-year-old kids now are not going to be like, oh, I really need to get that Wrestling All-Stars Hogan card. Like, I don't think they're going to, that's not going to be, we're always in the hobby. We're always looking for the next thing, especially as you made that point of those collectors, kind of terrible to say it this way, but dying off. Like the interest in people like Vince McMahon, like Hulk Hogan, like even someone who didn't do anything terrible, but they're just kind of out of the spotlight after 20 years, you know, they're going to go down.
All right. Well, I'll wrap things up this week. I want to talk a little bit about eBay is no longer allowing breaks of retail products on their website. They sent out a notice to people during the week that if you have retail mega boxes, blasters, you will not be able to do that they kind of cluttered up and devalued the breaking category on their website. Kind of surprising because they make money off of that. So none of us are big breakers. You know, I'm the biggest one here because I've done it like,
you're huge compared to us.
Huge time. Yeah. But I mean, I personally don't have interest in breaking retail stuff, but some people might. But especially, you know, I've done breaks of wrestling cards, and like Panini retail wrestling is horrible. So like it's a waste of money to do it. So like I really don't have a dog in this fight. But I mean, my initial reaction is might be a good thing, but I mean, I'm certainly not somebody really in a place to determine whether it's good or bad, but I was wondering your thoughts on that. What do you guys think?
Retail breaks, are they saying that because there's a lot of retail break listings, it is cluttering it up, that the hobby breaks are not getting as much of a spotlight and potentially not selling for as high as they should?
Maybe that, and I think it could potentially be confusing to people who aren't as knowledgeable about different products and stuff like that. And you know how people list stuff, let's do a prism case break, and you don't necessarily don't realize the description will say mega or have some kind of abbreviation for it or something like that. So I'm guessing there's probably some of that going on. Like I said, I don't look for breaks on eBay since they cut out a lot of the breakers, but I'm guessing it does cause a lot of confusion for people, and they might end up getting a lot of chargebacks or something from people. I don't know.
That's possible too. Yeah. So to your point about, they make money off these things, so it's kind of surprising. Maybe that's why they've had to deal with a lot of people complaining and a lot of people trying to get their money back for them. When I first saw this story, when it was sent out this week, my first thought was, I don't think retail breaking is the problem. Like in terms of losing your shirt, I feel like you could lose your shirt a lot easier breaking hobby products as a buyer, because it's so much more expensive. And the odds of you getting anything better out of a hobby product as a retail product, because you're not going to most likely not get that huge hit that's going to, pay for your spot. Like, I think hobby breaking is more of a problem, but that's just a breaking philosophy in general. I'm not a huge fan of, but yeah, I guess maybe eBay just doesn't want to deal with it, and they think that too many people have complained, and this is the way to kind of curtail that a little bit.
Yeah, I really think the issue, as soon as I saw the story, like my initial reaction was, because people, I didn't witness it myself, but I can picture people saying, we're going to do a case break of NBA Prism, and then in the fine texture and say, but these are just blasters. And I feel like that's probably they're probably combating that without actually saying it, without trying.
Maybe it'll say "read" in the title,
right? Yeah,
so you should read,
in parentheses,
right?
read below, read
below.
Or have a B for blaster,
yeah, or MB for mega boxes. So so I feel like there's probably something really gross going on, and I'm glad that they are combating that and taking efforts to work on that. But I have to admit that I've never gotten into a break. I don't like breaks at all. I feel like they're a scam. Sorry, Ziggy. I feel like breaks are a little bit of a scam. And I know back in 2012 when they first I'm sure they were showed up before. Back in 2012 when I would see these things I was actually searching for like cards or whatever, and these, like, instead of actually being the card or a pack or a box, it was a break. I'm like, what is all this? I don't need any of this. And I feel like breaks kind of shouldn't be on eBay. I feel like that's something that the eBay shouldn't be selling. And I can't police them. That's not my job or whatever. But I feel like they don't kind of belong on eBay. So, yeah.
How in the world are we going to make our gigantic new card shop in Mifflinburg, PA, secretly backed by the Rusty Rail? How are we going to make that place work if you're out here trashing breaking before we even get our break room open? You were going to be in charge of that. Did you forget?
No. Listen, there are ways to do breaks. I like when I see people when they buy a box and you break a box for them. I'm talking about when people are buying player breaks and they're buying pick your teams and they're buying random teams. Like how much?
But we're going to need to do the most gambly stuff to make our money to keep our shop open.
I got to be honest. I'm a little bit with you here, because I was shocked when Mike named you in charge of breaking and he named me the employee in charge of vintage baseball. I thought that was weird, but I mean, we can switch jobs. I'm cool with the gambling part of it, and you can handle, I guess.
I'm an innovator. I'm a visionary.
You are a visionary.
I can see these things before they happen. So I see nothing but good things. All right, guys. Well, I feel like that was a lot to talk about this week. I think we got it all covered. If not, oh well, always next week, right? Okay.
Yes.
That was a good chat, guys. I will see you next week.
That's an Irish goodbye. That was an Irish goodbye.
Comment below. Let us know.
See you, boys.
See ya.